Spain, as Mexico's former colonial ruler, did not participate directly in the Mexican-American War, 1846 to 1848. By the time of the conflict, Spain's influence in the Americas had significantly waned following the independence movements of the early 19th century. However, Spain's historical ties to Mexico and its position as a European observer of the war provide an interesting lens to consider its role during this pivotal moment in North American history. 1. Historical legacy in Mexico. Mexico was part of the Spanish Empire for over 300 years before gaining independence in 1821. During this time, Spain established Mexico as a key center of its colonial administration in the Americas. By the 1840s, while Spain had recognized Mexican independence, the two countries had limited relations, and Spain no longer held any significant sway over Mexico's political or economic affairs. 2. Neutrality in the conflict. Spain maintained a position of neutrality during the Mexican-American War. The conflict was primarily a territorial dispute between Mexico and the United States, with no direct implications for Spain's remaining colonial holdings. Unlike Britain and France, which had more active interests in the Americas, Spain was focused on maintaining control over its Caribbean colonies, such as Cuba and Puerto Rico, and rebuilding its global influence elsewhere. 3. Decline of Spanish influence. By the mid-19th century, Spain's global influence was in decline. The loss of its colonies in Latin America had weakened its economic and political power. Spain lacked the resources or motivation to intervene in the Mexican-American War, especially given its focus on internal reforms and maintaining its remaining colonial empire. 4. European interest in the war. While Spain did not directly involve itself in the conflict, it likely monitored the war's outcome alongside other European powers. The U.S.'s victory and its acquisition of vast Mexican territories were a clear sign of the growing influence of the United States in the Western Hemisphere, a development that would later have implications for European colonial ambitions in the region. Conclusion. Spain played no active role in the Mexican-American War, but observed it as a distant and declining power with historical ties to Mexico. The war highlighted the shift in power dynamics in the Americas, with the United States rising as a dominant force, while Spain continued to focus on preserving its remaining colonial holdings. The conflict underscored the end of Spain's influence in Mexico and the broader transformation of the Western Hemisphere in the 19th century.